This week we're actually going to review MLB 14 The Show for the PS4. What's up YouTube, it's Hector from Not2Nerdy. Welcome back to another video game review. This week we're actually going to review MLB 14 The Show for the PS4. Now this game also came out on PlayStation 3 and PS Vita, but we're going to go over specifically the PS4 version. Now this game is a really good game. So let me start out by going over the graphics in this game. Now, a lot of people praise NBA 2K14 for the way it looked on next-gen consoles, and it looked really detailed, looked really good, the player animations, everything looked great in that game. Well, this game, in my opinion, tops that game. This game looks probably the best sports game I've seen yet. You know, it looks very realistic, the details, everything, the characters, it looks very next-gen. And if there is one slight complaint about the graphics is the fact that it looks so realistic that sometimes the characters look so stiff that they don't have fluid animations at times, but other times they do. But you'll notice that when they play sometimes they don't have the best animation to it. But I think that's something they could prove upon, you know, in the upcoming years and stuff like that on next gen. But, you know, that's nitpicking because the graphics really look amazing on a PlayStation 4. Now, the next thing that we're going to discuss real quick is the gameplay. There are plenty of game modes in this game. Like, the fact that as soon as I turn on the game, I was just overwhelmed. I didn't know what I should play first. You know, you could play the normal preseason or exhibition game that means nothing. Then you could play a regular season game in the game. And then, of course, since it's MLB 14, they have a mode called Road to the Show. Now, Road to the Show, for people that don't know that, is you actually create a character and you select the position that character is going to play, and your goal is to go from the minors all the way to the pros and, you know, work your way up and be an actual baseball player. And it's pretty cool. You know, I selected a character that's called Not2Nerdy. He is a pitcher, and he really worked his way up to make the pros, lost his starting spot when it was sent down back to the minors, and then finally I went back up to pros, and I'm there still struggling, fighting over there. And I was doing it in all-star mode. You know, all-star mode is very, very difficult for Road to the Show, but it's a lot of fun. Now, like I said, they have normal game modes like any other sports game and any other baseball game. Now, the thing that sets them apart is they added 2 new modes this year in MLB 14. The first one is called Quick Counts. Now, Quick Counts, it's a basic algorithm in the game that it goes according to the pitcher, and it sort of simulates what the pitcher might do. So, for example, it might be the first inning and you're pitching, and you might be placing a count where it's a 1-1 count or a 1-2 count or a 3-2 count, depending on how well the pitcher is doing previously, or they just randomly, you know, generate what it might be. And instead of you playing a full game, the point is that the game will be like 30 minutes or less as opposed to an hour or, you know, or more. Because sometimes a game can last a long time. So this is a way for people to play just basic quick counts and do the game a lot quicker. Now, you know, for me, I don't like that mode. That's not my mode. You know, I love playing a full game, so I'm okay with playing a full game. So I completely understand people that like that. That's a great feature for people that don't feel like playing the whole game, and they'll like to be put in a random situation. Like, the computer might generate that, you know, your pitcher put 2 people on base, but 2 people on base, there's 2 outs, and it's a 3-2 count or a 3-1 count, and you have to work your way out of trouble. You know, stuff like that, which is pretty cool for some people. For me, I'd rather play the full game, and if I get myself in trouble, I'd rather be the one that gets myself in trouble and not let the computer put me in that position. But that's just me. The next thing that they have is actually player lock. Player lock is basically the same thing as Road to the Show. They took, like, the same mechanics of Road to the Show, and the fact that you control one player, and you control one player only, because that's how Road to the Show works. Once you could select that player that you want, you control that player. And for example, I was a pitcher, I don't control anyone else behind me on the field. So if they make errors, which they do a lot, if they screw up on anything, like, it affects me pitching and stuff like that. It's the same exact way for player lock. Now, you could select any real player though. So how it works is when you're about to start a game, you press during the player lineup or the pitcher lineup, you could press R2 on the player that you want, and you could lock onto that player. And what you're saying is that you want to play that player only, and that's it. So when you're in the full game, you only control that player. And how it works is well, the purpose of that is that it will more than likely be, the game will take you like 10 minutes or less. You're not playing a full game because you're only controlling that player, and they'll skip ahead to when you go up to bat. You also skip ahead to when there's something going on in the outfield or in the infield, and you just do your position. That's it. You have nothing else to do but that. And you can actually do that for a full season too, which is pretty cool. So you can lock on one player and be that player for the whole season. So if I want to be Derek Jeter in his final season, I can lock on Derek Jeter, play a full season with the Yankees, and I'm just Derek Jeter the whole season. So that's a pretty cool feature. That's meant for people that, want to try something different. Also, they don't feel like playing a full baseball game. You have another option. So this game is full of options. You still have the online play, which is, I have to admit right now, at first, when I first played it, I said that this online gameplay is horrible. But then I actually started playing with people on my friends list. And every game that I played on the friends list, it worked out perfectly. So I want to correct myself and say that I think that the matchmaking isn't too great in this game. I think that that's what the problem is in this game. The matchmaking is not good. Sometimes you'll be matched up with someone that doesn't have a good internet and the connection is bad. But when you actually, are friends with them and you go like in a party chat and you decide to go play together, it works out perfectly every single time. So I suggest doing that if you want to play the game. You actually become friends with someone, do that. But besides that, like hopefully they fix that part of the game, that it's easier to match with people that are around your area that has good connection and that everything will work out smoothly. And that is pretty much it. Now, I'm going to go over certain things that, I didn't like. I already went over the fact that the movement isn't too fluid and sometimes it looks like they're a little too stiff. I already went over the fact that matchmaking isn't done nicely at all. But the thing that really drove me crazy in this game, and if you watch my live stream on Twitch, you'll know exactly what I'm talking about, is the strike zone. Now, before people say, oh, well, you could change this feature, and let me explain to you what's going on. Sometimes when I'm pitching the ball, all right, it's a 3-2 count, like you need a strike called, and the umpire will sometimes, it's clearly, the image shows you the strike zone, they show you the area that I pitched the ball, and they clearly say it's a ball. They say it's a ball when it's clearly a strike. And it's a strike. You see it's a strike. Even sometimes the computer response announcer says, oh man, that's a tough call there, but you're going to have to settle down. And to me, it drives me crazy because at first I'm like, okay, it's understandable, but they do it too often. And I think that it really kills the game when you're in like a full count and all of a sudden you're forced, you throw a ball and you're forced to throw it down the middle because if it's anywhere on the edge, if it's anywhere in the strike zone edge, you're not going to call a strike. So you're forced to put it like directly in the middle of the plate, and the computer always hits it if you're an all-star. So for me, that drives me crazy. And that to me like got me upset a lot of times. I found ways to work around that, but like it seems like they want you to pitch directly over the plate, especially when it's road to the show. Road to the show, like the umpire is horrible. The umpire just does not give you strike zones. And it's funny because like there'll be times once they make a bad call, they'll make a good call after it. But like if you pitch the ball in the same exact spot, which I've done plenty of times, right after the spot that they just said is a ball, they'll call a strike. And it just drives me crazy because as you're pitching, you don't know where the strike zone is. And I know they're trying to make it seem realistic by making umpire randomly like call bad calls, but it's a little too much, Like people said that you could turn it off in the settings, that you can make it like actual strike zone. But, if you're playing realistic baseball, obviously not every pitch can be a strike. So you kind of want it to leave it the way it is, but they have to patch it. They have to fix that. It drives me crazy. I'm sure it'll drive you crazy when you play the game. You'll know what I'm talking about, that it forces you to pitch the ball directly over the plate. Otherwise, they're going to call a ball. So I digress. That's like the biggest complaint in this game. So now, after I review this game, the score I'm going to give this game for MLB 14 The Show is an 8.5. Now, I wanted to give this game a 9. I felt that it deserved a 9, but then the certain features in it are not there. The matchmaking, like for some people, might be a deal breaker because people want to play this online, and sometimes you might be matched up with someone that doesn't have the best connection, but sometimes you might not, you know. Some people don't like that. Some people just want to play online. Now, the mechanics, they still got some tweaking to do. That's why clearly it'll never be a 10, because they still have a lot of improvements that they need in this game. And also the strike zone, for me, this is a baseball game. It's very important to get that strike zone accurate, because if not, then what's the point of playing? You know, it'll drive you crazy. But besides that, I think 8.5 is a great score. You know, I think that they have some improvement to do, but I'm looking forward to see what they're going to bring to 2015, 2016, you know, and so on. And that's pretty much it. Let me know what you guys think about MLB 14 The Show. Do you guys think there's a different score? Do you guys actually play it? And if you haven't played it yet, what's preventing you from buying this game? Because I definitely suggest you get in this game. This is definitely fun. If you like baseball, you're going to have lots of fun with this game. So that's pretty much it. So this is Hector from Not2Nerdy. I'm out. See you, YouTube.